Hello, my name is Caleb Smith with the Rocket Miner newspaper, here to provide your coronavirus update for May 15th, 2020. I've worked up quite a bit today, along with other people this week, to help crank out the annual graduation edition, which should be hitting newsstands and doorsteps tomorrow. We have an extra large paper filled with pictures of all of our hard-working graduates, our seniors who are culminating a long and challenging journey that got a little bit more interesting at the end than normal, and they deserve the recognition that's coming to them. That topic is dominant throughout the newspaper, to the point where there are some extra features that we cut just to make sure that we got all the deserving students in. In addition, I've got some stories here that were included in Saturday's paper, so you got a preview, and a couple that we didn't quite squeeze into the pages for this weekend, but I still think are important to highlight. Let's start with the numbers, shall we? The Wyoming Department of Health reports that, as of the time of this filming, the confirmed cases of coronavirus in Wyoming is now up to 541. That includes 15 in Sweetwater County. That's unchanged today, though we've had 3 cases added to our total this week. When it comes to unconfirmed but probable cases, statewide that number sits at 175, and in Sweetwater County that number sits at 7. And when it comes to recoveries, that number total is now at 496 overall, and 18 in Sweetwater County. Let's hope that we get as close to 100% as we can. It is noted that the fatality still sits at 7 people in Wyoming. Turning to cases in the United States, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that total, we're now up to 1,412,121 cases in America, which is 27,191 more than yesterday. The death toll now sits at 85,990 people, which is 2,043 people more than yesterday. Johns Hopkins University reports that overall, the total is now at 4,534,952. The death total is now at 307,159 people. And the recovery sits at 1,633,389 cases. Now, one thing we've been seeing, both in Sweetwater County and across the country, is a careful, measured rollout and resumption of some services, options, activities, and whatnot, as we look to carefully but safely get back to there's no such thing as normal, if you ask me, but closer to that than where we are right now. One of the places making an adjustment is Western Wyoming Community College, which is looking to reopen the students on a limited basis on campus starting next week, while also making plans for the regular commencement ceremonies to be online. According to a press release we received today, Western received approval from both local and state authorities for a variance that will grant students to complete spring labs and hands-on curriculum in person starting Monday, May 18th. Students will have to follow new safety protocols required to gain access and remain on the Rock Springs campus. The same press release notes that they anticipate that Western's campus will remain closed to the public until at least July 6th. When it comes to the new safety guidelines, when it comes to students and employees, to enter the building, they're going to have to go through the main entrance only and have a facial covering. After entering, they'll be required to fill out a health form and have their temperatures recorded. I've done some other things, some places that it's some medical places I've been to, or when I gave blood, several weeks ago. That's going to become the new standard. The officials note that while these guidelines can be challenging, the health and safety of students, employees, and community members is of the utmost importance to the college. Now, in addition to all that, plans are ongoing for the commencement ceremony to take place on Saturday, June 27th at 1 p.m. in a virtual and interactive format. Afterwards, students, their families, and community are encouraged to participate in a Mustang Stampede parade to cheer on the graduates. So be putting down your calendar and save time for that. In addition, the college notes that there are some specialty tests coming up, such as the Alex and the McCann tests are available online and seem to be working well for prospective students, according to the press release. Now, I understand, and better than that, the college understands not all students have a good computer or internet capabilities at home. If that is the case, people are encouraged to contact the Green River Center to schedule a time for a student to come to the site in Green River and be able to take these tests with the assistance of a proctor. Please don't let your situation at home, don't think that that blocks all of your opportunities forward. Just reach out to the college, see what they can do. Just in general, the college is looking for ways to meet needs and keep people connected and learning. Quoting Dr. Kim Dale, Western's president, "I am proud of the way our Western family has handled the COVID-19 crisis, especially our graduates. They have persevered in obtaining their degrees in such unprecedented circumstances. I hope the community can join together in celebrating these students' hard work and grit at commencement as they take the next steps in their unique journeys." Special Olympics Wyoming is another entity that's been making adjustments. Saturday is the official start of the Wyoming Torch Run, and in 2020, it's going to be virtual. This is an annual thing where law enforcement agencies help carry the torch through communities. And even though the summer games have been canceled this year due to physical distancing guidelines, the athletes and their supporters are all saying that it's still important to do what we can to raise awareness, raise some funds for the nonprofit, and to see if we can generate some smiles too. Whether it's by walking, running outside, using a treadmill, using an elliptical, having a stationary bike, having a non-stationary bike, goals are for both the officers and athletes to reach 2,020 miles, all by July 15th, to help spread the message and get a little bit of positive peer pressure and reinforcement. People are encouraged to take a picture, record a short video, and post them on the Wyoming Law Enforcement Torch Run Facebook page. Now, personally, I am a big believer and supporter of Special Olympics. I've had family members, people from church participate in the program as athletes. I've also met some great sponsors and some other exceptional local kids who are involved in the program, such as at the jackalope jump, where people plunged into the pond at the golf course back in March. I was happy to be a part of that and get my adrenaline rush for the day by jumping in myself. Special Olympics is important to those who, like anybody else, like to play. like to compete, really like to win. And also, when they get the chance, just to really like to get together and have a good time. And though right now they can't do that with the summer games, we want to still be keeping it on people's radar, still be setting resources aside so that when we get to the point where we can resume more of these activities, that they're able to jump right back into these activities that are exciting, engaging, and awesome. Like I said, you can find more details on the Wyoming Law Enforcement Torch Run Facebook page or www.specialolympicswy.org, or you can see the story at therocketminer.com. Your memories are like mine, and you shake your head, and it's like an Etch-a-Sketch, and it's gone. Go to the website. You'll be able to find that information there. One more change that we need to start preparing for is that we're going to be seeing some changes to the way that we're hosting elections, thanks to COVID-19. The Wyoming Secretary of State, Edward Buchanan, issued a directive stating that at the county level, that those who are in charge of the elections need to consolidate the number of polling places somewhere between 1 and 7. The discretion is left up to the county clerk, and we're now told to expect no more than 7 locations for the 2020 primary election. Some of those polling places that you may have gone to for years may be moved to accommodate with social distancing protocols with sufficient floor space, to make sure that people know where they're going to have to go, because we don't want anybody to miss out on the election. Postcards will be sent out for the primary election on April 18th, so that way you know where you need to go. And in addition, and this is something that's been stressed both at the county level and at the state level, absentee balloting remains a long available option. I've taken advantage of it on myself on occasion. In addition, the county clerk's office wants people to know that it is available if people have questions, whether it's about voter registration, registering. You want to check that you're properly registered and everything's up to date, to request an absentee ballot, or just any other general elections. You can contact the clerk's office at 307-872-3733. So we keep making adjustments because it's a safe thing to do, it's the right thing to do. Some of these things that we're being asked to carry, some of them are requirements, and some of them are voluntary. A friend of mine highlighted an article today noting that in a time of stark divisions, where some of these issues and how to approach these challenges that face us locally, that face our country, that face the whole world, there are some very diverging ways to address how to go forward. But one thing to keep in mind is that even though we may not agree, there's still some times where if we're willing to sacrifice a little bit more, to just invest just a little bit more in patience, to understand that I'm going to take up this extra thing on my behalf because I know it will reduce your risk, because it will reduce your fear. It will reduce your concern. There might be some steps that you think that aren't necessary to take right now. But if you are finding yourself in close proximity and contact to other people who do think that it's important to take these steps, I'd encourage you to consider doing it for the sake of the community. Because, I mean, we're neighbors. I certainly intend to be still bumping into the same people um, in the place where I live, on the sidewalks, in the stores that I'm going to be frequenting. And it has the potential to make a very big impact to show our kindness. Not because we get something in return, not because the government is demanding of it and won't accept anything less, but because it's how we show we care. So that's just my thought this evening. Coming from Caleb Smith of the Rocket Miner, wishing you a good day and a safe tomorrow.